There once was a boy named Terrible Thomas, who never not once kept a single good promise. He wasn't a monster, he wasn't a thief, but everywhere Thomas went, he brought us grief. He woke up at 5 with a crash and a boom, and launched a ripe tomato straight through the room. His mother would sigh as it hit the clean wall, while Thomas just laughed and ran down the long hall. For breakfast he wanted some syrup and rice, and filled up the toaster with 7 fake mice. When Daddy went in for his morning hot toast, he screamed like he'd just seen a terrifying ghost.
At school, Terrible Thomas was dreadfully bad, the worst little student the town ever had. He glued the poor teacher right into her chair, and threw a pink bubblegum wad in her hair. He swapped out the chalk for a stick of white cheese, and let out a jar full of bumbley-bees.
During lunchtime he didn't eat apples or meat. He looked for the strangest concoctions to eat. He dipped his big banana in mustard and ink, and poured chocolate milk down the janitor's sink. He stood on the table and started to shout, until the principal came and kicked Thomas out. On the way home he saw Mrs. McGill, who was walking her poodle right over the hill. Old Thomas sneaked up with a giant balloon, and popped it so loud that it woke up the moon. The poodle jumped up and it landed right in a massive and smelly old garbage dump bin. He ran to his garden and dug a big hole, then filled it with jelly and caught a small mole. He captured a frog and he named it Big Pierre, and hid it inside of his sister's underwear. When sister went dressing, the frog gave a hop. She shrieked and she cried till she called for a cop.
At dinner, young Thomas was up to his tricks. He tried to eat chicken using 2 pointy sticks. He juggled the meatballs and dropped them in soup, and made a loud sound like a chicken with croup. He painted the dog with some blueberry jam, and fed his new sneakers to Uncle Sam's lamb.
His parents were tired, their hair turning gray. They counted the minutes till the end of the day. Go up to your bedroom, his father then roared, but Thomas just smiled, he was never quite bored. He tied all his sheets to the window out back, and slid to the ground with a loud sudden crack. He ran through the town in his yellow pajamas, and startled a herd of nearby local llamas. He danced on the roof of the grocery store, until his pajamas were ragged and tore. The townspeople gathered and started to cry, oh, what will we do with this terrible guy?
But suddenly Thomas grew terribly tired. The mischievous fuel in his brain had expired. He yawned a big yawn and he walked back to bed, and rested his naughty and sleepy young head.
He curled up so tightly and looked so polite, you'd think he was an angel or fairy of light. But don't be deceived by his innocent face. Tomorrow he'll run at a terrifying pace. He'll wake up at 5 with a brand new bad scheme, to make the whole neighborhood shudder and scream. So lock up your doors and turn off every light, and pray Terrible Thomas stays sleeping tonight.